We teach people to live by a guiding question. We say it's just simple to ask, what does love require of me in this situation?
Welcome to Faith Ignited. We're on our channel here. I'm Michael Bridges, Executive Pastor with Aaron Shivington. Aaron, welcome.
Yeah, thank you, Mike.
Aaron's
Thanks for having us.
Thank you. Aaron's our pastor at Faith Ignited. And Aaron, we've been getting a lot of great social media traffic and individuals at church who have friends asking questions. And so we got a question here, actually a few questions from somebody. And I want to get right into this because we've got a lot of ground to cover here just in this video. So
Before we start, let me say this. We have got a lot of traffic and we've got a lot of people who are interacting with us on YouTube.
Yeah.
And let me just say thank you to all the viewers. Even if you don't agree with us, I love the conversation. I love the interaction. I love the fact that we're behaving well. Like there's nobody so far who's, been blatantly insulting or, we've been respectful to each other, and I just love the conversation. So thank you to everybody who's watched and engaged both on YouTube and other social media platforms with the church.
I agree completely. So Aaron, question here. Somebody wrote, humans have religion mixed up.
Yeah. So this is kind of part two of the, so you might need to go back and watch part one. We got a question from a member of our church saying, my friend posted this, how do I respond? And we read the first part of her post, and now we're just picking it apart saying, okay, here, she gave us about 15 to 16 different things that we felt could be responded to. And so now we're taking number one. So if you didn't watch the first one, go back and do that. So do the first question again.
Humans have religion mixed up.
Yeah. Humans have religion mixed up. So this is a claim that this individual is making. And again,
And by the way, this individual is also a human.
right,
So,
yeah,
just to clarify.
which is fascinating that humans, meaning myself also, great point, that we have it mixed up. And so I would say, as you already pointed out, like, so are you one of those who have it mixed up? When you say all humans, which is what she's done, humans have it mixed up, does that mean you too?
Or do you mean all other humans besides myself?
Right, everybody but me has this mixed up, or but me and my group that meets in my living room, or whatever, right? And so she makes a truth claim that we have religion mixed up, which is fine to do. And so again, we go back and the first thing that our friend should say is, so what is your evidence of it? Why do you believe that? Is it just a feeling? Is it something you read somewhere? Why should I trust Susie Hugh that you read versus anybody else that you read? What's interesting here is that as she goes on in her post to say that humans have religion mixed up, she also says it's a crutch that we use for fear, which is actually a statement from Marx. And if you read the Communist Manifesto, that's one of Marx's ideologies that he makes and claims that, hey, the reason that religion was invented was because we were all afraid, and
Religion is the opiate of the masses.
right, and so the government can use this to control us. And so it's fascinating that again she says it's all mixed up, but she moves into ideologies that were invented by humans.
Yeah.
So again, I would want to know, where does she get her information, and why does she believe what she believes?
Yes. She goes on to say the Bible is not accurate.
Yeah, and so we've covered this a lot, and again, I would stay with my same question. So what is your evidence for that? Why do you believe that? And I wouldn't accept just, well, because, it's been mistranslated. I would say, okay, so what's your proof for that? A lot of people make bad claims that they saw on a TikTok video for 30 seconds that have no study behind them, have no science behind them, have no textual criticism. Again, there's just no work. I saw it on TikTok. I watched it for 30 seconds. It must be true. So the Bible is absolutely trustworthy. It's just an easy scapegoat to just blatantly make a false statement. But you can't trust the Bible. Wow. Okay, why? Give me your evidence.
Have you looked at it? You've read one verse in it? Which verse?
Yeah, and this is where, again, I always say to our Christian friends, like, hey, don't start with the Bible, and don't start by inviting people to church. All right? Well, if your friend doesn't believe in the Bible, probably having them read it may not be the best approach, but rather study, why should they read it? Is it trustworthy? And this is where this person may be very intellectually astute with the Bible. again, I run into people who quote Bible verses better than I can, who don't believe, and they've learned to use it as a tool against Christians, and it intimidates people because all of a sudden they're like, oh, I don't know my Bible as well as you. Maybe you know it better than I do, so maybe Jesus doesn't exist. And look, when I get to heaven, the first thing that's not going to happen is there's not going to be a test. How well did you know your Bible to get in here, right? It's going to be, how well did you know Jesus? And certainly the Bible reveals who God is, but it's based on my relationship with Jesus. Because heaven's about the relationship with Jesus. It's about where we hang out with Jesus.
Yeah. Um, next one is religion is a safety net because we fear death.
Right. And we talked about that a little bit. It's Marxism.
Yeah.
It's really theology because it's making claims about God that God either doesn't exist or that God is all about fear mongering. But it comes out of that Communist Manifesto. So again, here's a person making a claim about religion that humans got it all wrong, that steals a claim from Karl Marx.
Yeah, I would say there's potentially a little bit of truth in there in the sense, now religion, not religion in general, but I know my faith, my personal faith with Christ is there because I fear death without him. I fear death on the other side, the absence of God. And so I do fear God. I really fear not being with God is my real fear. And so I want to have a relationship with Christ, and I can have the confidence, the faith in things that I do not see, as Paul, there is the writer of Hebrews says in 11:1. I have confidence in things that I don't see because I have faith in God.
Yeah. And in fairness to this lady who's writing this, it very well may be that wherever she's from, whatever her experience is, religion was used as a tool to oppress. It was used as a tool to cause fear. I think there could be a good case that that's the backbone of Islam. And certainly if you look at Hinduism and Buddhism, the whole caste system, the religion is based off the caste system. And so I think it is fair to say that there are several places in our world still today where religion is used as a tool of fear to keep you in line with whatever. So this is where, again, I love asking the question, hey, why do you believe that? Where do you get that? And I think you could make a case that there are places in the history of Christianity that has also been used and misused.
Aaron, I agree. And I would say any foundational theology, even of anyone who is a Christian, that believes works are an element of our salvation. Because works are not an element of our salvation. Works come after salvation in order to glorify God in the things that we do. But if you consider works to be part of your salvation, the question is how much, how many, how long, what do I have to do?
Right.
And the answer is not enough.
Because never enough.
Never enough. In fact, all of our works are polluted by our desperately wicked souls until we come to Christ. So yeah, if you're counting on your own works to get to heaven, you should fear death.
Yeah. So this is just a place where, again, you said this in the last video, it's important to listen and hear. And so what she's making could be a true statement depending on her background and where she's from. And so this is why it's important to ask the question first rather than go in and say, that's not true. Well, it may be true if she comes out of this background. I mean, it was religion rather than the relationship with Jesus. It certainly can be misused.
Right, agree. And last one for this video is there is no true religion.
Yeah. So that's, again, a pretty powerful statement because ultimately you have each one of the religions claim to be true, right? And then you got to investigate why they are true or why they're not true and what is their evidence for them. And for our case and purpose, certainly we would stop and go, well, let's just start with Jesus because every religion incorporates Jesus in some way into them. And so this person's ultimately saying Jesus was wrong. Now, if this person's okay with saying Jesus was wrong and that he was a liar or the devil out to deceive us, okay. And again, she can believe whatever she wants to believe. It doesn't make it any more true. It doesn't make it any less true for her. All right. But ultimately, one day, her reality that she has created and the reality that it is will collide. And so we take all questions back to Jesus, and Jesus claimed to be God. He claimed to be the only way. He claimed to be the way, the truth, and the light. And so we stop and say, okay, is Jesus who he said he was? Is the evidence for Jesus solid can we build a faith and the claims that Jesus made. We like to say anytime someone can predict their own death and resurrection and pull it off, we should do whatever they say. So here, I feel we got pretty solid ground. The scripture's true. Jesus made truth claims. The authors of the Gospels, who can be trusted, believed in the word of Jesus and passed on a reliable message. So I think we're on pretty solid ground. And at that point in time, again, we may just say to the lady, well, we'll have to agree to disagree.
Right.
But she has the responsibility to disprove Jesus.
She does. That's
And
right.
so at this point in time, I would say to her, all right, tell me why Jesus was a liar. Which I don't care what you believe, most people are uncomfortable responding to that. Because ultimately there's something in our soul that goes, Jesus claimed to be God. I don't want to call God a liar.
Right. Right.
No matter what I think.
Right.
Right? And so here again, that's ultimately what I'm going to say to her. Tell me why you think Jesus is a liar.
Yeah. Great discussion, Aaron. Thanks very much. And thanks everyone for joining us here at Faith Ignited. Visit our website at faithignited.church and also our YouTube and Facebook channels. And best of all, join us at church on Sunday at Faith Ignited in Xenia and Fairpoint. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.